17 years ago, I said a prayer that 5 days later completely changed my life in the most wonderful way. It was a prayer that was only said once, but once is all that was needed when every word came straight from the heart. There were 19 years of searching and healing that preceded that prayer. I met Bob when I was 20 and fell madly in love, despite a lot of problems. I kept trying to make it work until my dad finally said, "Look, I know when you're young, it seems passionate and exciting to argue, then kiss and make up. That gets old really quick. What you really want, because the outside world is not always kind, is to find a life partner who will be your sanctuary." I knew my dad was right, and that was the end of Bob. After that, and into my early 30s, I tried everything to find a life partner. I joined singles clubs, went to singles dances, got set up by friends. Each of the setups ended with me wanting to call my friend and say, "What on earth were you thinking?" Several of my relationships lasted a couple of months. That was the problem. I was constantly being dumped at about the 3-month mark, which just pissed me off. Finally, I realized, "Julie, why are you so desperate? You're not even in love with these men." And I realized I was lonely. So I was trying to make myself into what I thought they wanted me to be, trying to keep their interest because I didn't want to be alone. And that's when I decided I need to make my peace with being single. So in 1999, I told God, "I'm done looking. If you want me to meet someone, we can meet in the parking lot at Walmart for all I care." And that's literally how I said it. So 5.5 years later, in that period of time, I had one date with a man I met at a New Year's party and a brief relationship with another man. This time, at the end of 3 months, we mutually agreed we were better off as friends. The biggest change came from within. By the time I returned to St. Louis in November 2004, I had come to realize how much I had to offer the right person whenever he showed up. So 6 months after moving to St. Louis, I met a woman who found her husband on eHarmony, the dating site for people that wanted a serious relationship. Sounded good. And that's when I heard, "Let me get this straight. 6 years ago, you gave me control. Now you're trying to take it back. That's not the way the program works, sister, but you have fun with eHarmony." Russa fressed. I signed up anyway. And I met Dwight, who was from Columbia, South Carolina. We had a wonderful first conversation, and then I sent him another picture. The picture I had on eHarmony was a headshot where my hair and makeup had been professionally done. The updated photo was a casual picture taken by a friend. I did not hear back from him. So, after a couple of months, I decided to leave St. Louis and move back to my beloved South. I chose Columbia, South Carolina, not because of Dwight, but because it was equidistant from the beach and the mountains, both of which I love. And when I made that decision, I heard, "Good, now contact Dwight." And I said, "I don't want to contact Dwight. If you recall, he dumped me over a picture. Quite frankly, I think Dwight's an asshole." And the voice said, "That's nice. Contact him anyway." Russet. Fine. I got to Columbia. Dwight and I went out a few times. I found him attractive, but I quickly realized he wasn't looking for anything serious. And when I asked him about it, he said, "You're right. What I really want is to be friends with benefits." Well, while that was a tempting offer, it had been a long, dry spell, if you get my drift. I knew that it doesn't work to tell the universe one thing and then do another. I needed to stick to my intention of having a serious long-term relationship. 2 days after my conversation with Dwight, I prayed. "Okay, God, let's bottom line it. What I really want is someone who really, truly, deeply likes me for who I am on the inside, and who I really, truly, deeply like for who he is on the inside. Everything else is just stuff, and I'll let it go. You know who the best person is for me. Just send him to me." 5 days later, Kim, my coworker, came to me and said, "What are you doing for lunch? Do you remember me telling you about my friend Brett? Well, he and my husband, who worked with Brett, can meet us at noon." When Kim and I walked in, Brett stood up to greet me. He looked up and he thought, "There's no way this tall, gorgeous Amazon is going to be interested in me." I looked at him. And I thought, he's not as tall as I am. And then I thought to myself, height, that's just stuff. And I let it go. And we have lived happily ever after.